Girl I'm seeing dropped a bomb about the start of our relationship. So I've, 26M, been seeing this girl. Let's call her R, 25F, th about 3-4 months and things have been going great and I really like her. I met her at my last job and was planning to resign, so I asked her out on my last day so that things don't get awkward if she said no. Also there was this other dude, let's call him N, who I had a feeling liked her, so I wanted to jump in before he did. Lol. Long story short, things have been going great and we really clicked and grew close over the summer. She also told me that she always had a crush on me at work. Yeah, big ego boost for me, lol. So last night we were talking and she told me that it was in fact N she had a pretty big crush on, and I was more like the safety net of sorts and she wasn't that into me. She even showed me a chat with her friends that said, I want to fuck N, and N is the one I want and he barely gives me any attention, meanwhile I don't really want this other guy, me. And he gives me so much attention, and these chats were a day or two prior to me asking her out. She also proceeded to tell me that she only said yes to me because she didn't want to make it awkward and was planning to ghost me right after since I wasn't gonna be coming to work anymore. The only reason she accepted was that one of her friends convinced her to come. Thing is, we're going so great and this is long ago so it shouldn't be a big deal, but it's been bothering me a lot since last night. Mainly because she'd been lying about this for so long and I thought we were on the same page in the start, but now I guess not. It's also the fact that the foundations of our relationship are different from what I had been led to believe, and now how to feel. I guess I don't trust her that much anymore. She saw my expression when she told me and immediately apologized and reassured me that she was actually into me after our first date. Thing is, she's a great person and I really like her and I want to make it work. And I know it took a lot of courage and trust for her to be able to confide in me about this, and I want her to be able to talk to me and tell me anything, which is why I didn't react that much in front of her, just went silent for a bit. And I don't want to scare her off or scare her from talking to me about this, but how to react or feel here. I'm not insecure about where I stand. RN. I know she really likes me and I also know that her feelings for N were quite brief. He turned out to be kind of a shady character as well, lol, and faded after our first date. I just feel kinda stupid not knowing all this and believing a more self-fulfilling narrative instead. Sorry for the long post and ranting so much, lol. I've just been feeling kinda off ever since last night and how to deal with it, so any advice or opinions etc. will be highly appreciated. TLDR. Girl I'm doing great with for months has been lying about liking me in the initial phase of our relationship and I was more like the second choice. She finally confessed to me last night and I've been bothered about it since. There was absolutely no reason for her to ever burden you with this knowledge. What in the actual fuck could she have been thinking? The only thing I can think of is that she either has been feeling massive guilt, or the other side of the coin, she wanted to hurt you deeply, and this is a silver bullet. It would have been super easy to spin this. Step 1. Delete the fuck out of that conversation. Step 2. When you asked me out, I wasn't really feeling it, but the date changed my mind. There, all viciousness removed. Power move on her part in establishing domination of this relationship. You now know if for just one argument or Mr. N showing her some interest in getting dumped. Enjoy the relationship, but you know now it's not a forever thing. She wants the guy that treats her like crap. Why the fuck would she even say that? There are things that you just don't say to your partner. She didn't even consider that the truth could have ruined your self-esteem? That's a huge red flag in my opinion. As a woman, I am sorry, but this is the bitchiest and most cruel thing you can do to someone. What was the point of telling you this? She did it for a reason. I do not see it as her being honest and clearing the air. This is a red flag about her character. Emo. You can choose to look beyond it now, but the flag is waving. Location flag. If that's not a relationship ender, I don't know what is. Cruel, unnecessary, and a power play. Go ahead, forgive her. Then the next time she gets some lack of attention from a bad boy, she knows you'll roll over and forgive her again. Have some self-respect, my friend. Why? How did this stuff even come up in this way all of a sudden now though? Kudos to you for looking past it as much as you have and are. I would feel you're justified in feeling off about it. If you're able to keep where the two of you are now separate of that, you both sound healthier as a couple for it. But that's a pretty heavy revelation too. I have to agree with what others have said. She doesn't go from being hesitant and not wanting to hurt you to, and here look where I wrote my friend that I want to F the other guy, and this here is the chat where I wrote that I'm not into you. Sorry, but there's coming clean about something and then there's rubbing it in. And she was doing the latter. Emo. There was no reason to deliberately hurt you if she didn't mean to. A simple, "I know I told you in the beginning I had a crush on you but that wasn't quite the truth. I liked you but only after our first date did I feel like there could be something between us." Same truth but without naming other crushes and showing you texts where she talks about other guys. I see why you are the safe option. You have no backbone. If you saw her texting this other dude, you'd probably still ask us what to do. Wife wants to build a house. I don't. She hates me. Title is the too long did not read. Edit. After a talk is sounds like the underlying issue was, I want to be heard, and is an emotional need in the moment rather than actually needing a bigger house. But she brings up the house all the time and has for a decade, so it's definitely her dream. But the core need is wanting someone to hear her dream. So I need to do a better job at listening and mirroring her emotions and spend less time sharing my doubts. I'll defer doubts to when she actually wants to pull the trigger. It's still a tough spot. I mean, do I lead her to make a budget to save for her dream or do I just play the role and listen to her? Sounds like she just needs to be listened to. She's wanted to build for a long time. Her friends built their house. They sold it and are building a second house. I'm happy for her friends. But I can't afford that. I make $110K and she makes $20K working part-time and taking care of 3 small children. I told her if she wants to get a more lucrative job and save $100K that may be an option, but I can't afford that on my own. She doesn't want to work at all. She wants to be home with the kids. She blames me. I see this as a conflict in herself that she's projecting onto me. She wants 2 mutually exclusive things. She wants to not work and she wants to have her dream home. I guess she should have married a doctor? I don't know what to tell her. She talks about her dream home all the time and has for a decade. We've been in debt our entire marriage and have made progress on that. We are now debt-free, and since we are debt-free we can afford for her to cut back work. And she did. But she still wants her dream home. I have to make financially responsible decisions and ensure I have a property that's paid off by the time I retire. I don't want to triple my current mortgage and still be in debt $500,000 by age 60. To me that is very irresponsible. But she sees me as the thing preventing her from getting what she wants. I told her if she wants to meet me halfway financially then that is something we can discuss. We've had a rocky marriage. The entire time. I don't feel like it's my responsibility to give her what she wants. It's my responsibility to give her and our kids a stable living home. Going into debt would be potentially an unstable home. Not sure what to do here. My default is just to make myself happy and let her be miserable. I can only control myself and my own happiness. And I will make sure I take care of my responsibilities. Also at this point I want to make sure my kids have a bright future. I would like to be and stay debt-free, except a mortgage, to pay for orthodontics, a car when they're older, and university. Don't build the house. You already know that. This post was to vent. One idea is that you tell her that you are, genuinely and for real, willing to consider building a home if she presents a plan that results in no mortgage debt at 60. Encourage her to be creative. There are many different ways to generate extra income, many different ways to build a home, and many different kinds of homes. It's her dream. Put the onus on her to prove that it is feasible. If the end result is that she cannot compromise on her big dream in a way that makes it attainable, then she is only harming herself, and you, by constantly expressing her discontent. Could your salary alone pay for your family's life? Then her pay could be put in a savings account for the house. If she makes $20K a year, in 5 years it'll be $100K. Or maybe a compromise and find a bigger house that's maybe not as expensive? Regarding the house, if you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. It's plain and simple. Living above your means is never a good idea. I'm picking up on a lot of things you've mentioned in this post I feel shouldn't be ignored in this advice-seeking sub. You say she hates you, blames you, is unhappy, and you two fight a lot. You say your marriage is on the rocks. You mention she is miserable and you are disinterested in making her happy, which can be done in small ways, not with a house. Are you two checked out of this relationship? It seems like you two need to work on the base of your marriage with counseling and figure out if you want to still be together instead of arguing about finances. I would tell her to make a budget and show you how she thinks this would work. Might knock some sense into her. Make an APPT with a financial planner. A professional, objective third party who can lay out your finances in black and white for her. Perhaps she needs to someone else to tell her what her options are. Live life within your means and not your friends. You need to save for emergencies, retirement and kids' education since you already have a house. Once that is done, you can take on new mortgage without a ton of stress. Guy here, married 33 years. My wife and I have built 2 houses together. The first just before we got married, the second 13 years later. The first one was 1,500 square feet, very usable space and addition ready when the time came for that. The second was our dream home. 2 years of hard work with the help of contractors, couldn't be more proud. Bought projects required total partnership and participation by both of us. It is hard work and the emotions do fly at times. We are a team. Most of the time anyways. I would say from my experience that building a house is way different than having one built. The good part about dealing with a home builder is that they may be able to keep you on track with your budget. An option is to bargain shop a fixer and tune it to your taste. She won't leave me alone, I don't know what to do. Previous post. So since my last post I've done alright. Been focusing on myself, gym, mental health, work, and friends. It's been pretty good. Unfortunately my best mate ran into my ex in a supermarket, they live in the same area. I want to preface I'm not mad at him at all for this. He sort of lost his cool when she asked how I was doing. Going on about how much of a mistake she made, all of that sort of stuff. He did accidentally mention that I had intended to propose to her, within a week of her asking for a break. She apparently went very silent then just walked out. Since then I have been bombarded with messages from her family and friends, begging me to forgive her and give her another chance. None of this happened until she was made aware of proposal. She is now showing up at my house daily begging to talk to me. She has apparently broken it off with her new guy. She even had the ignorance to say, "I was right. This break has invigorated our love for each other. I've tried explaining that she hurt me and that the ring is now gone. She says it can all be fixed but it can't." Just so there aren't the usual comments I see on these sorts of posts. I have absolutely no intention of tying again with her. She ripped out my heart and stomped on it. Any chance of us being together is very dead. I just want her to leave me alone. I don't want to call the police though. As much as I hate her I don't want her life ruined or for her to have criminal record. Any advice is welcomed, I could really use it. Too long did not read. My ex found out about my plans to propose when we were together and now won't leave me alone, begging me to take her back. I need some advice. Edit update. Firstly, I appreciate all the comments and support from everyone, and thank you to everyone who reached out privately. Now update time. I called my ex's dad. He was the only one absent from the family plan to pressure me back into a relationship. Turns out he wasn't aware of the plan and agreed with me ending the relationship given the circumstances. He's a pretty straightforward guy and we've always gotten along well, so he has apparently set everyone straight, and told his daughter, my ex, that if she shows up at my place again I'll call the police. So hopefully that is the end of that. Again, I really appreciate everyone taking the time to comment, you're the best. Thumbs up. Tell her clearly there is absolutely no chance. But you need to set boundaries as in will you be her friend or do you genuinely want to never see her again, because if it's the latter I'd make that really clear too. You need to make it clear to her that there is no future for the two of you as a couple and tell her to stop harassing you, including getting her friends to. If she keeps harassing you after that then go to the police. You know what will happen. She is begging you now, but after a while she will start hating you. Just wait to see her true colors. She rode the cock carousel, realized nobody wants her and now she want to come back. Block everyone from her family and friends who keeps begging you on her behalf. Fuck them all. Don't explain yourself. You owe no explanation to any of them. Your new mantra, I want you, her out of my life. Never contact me again, about this topic. End of discussion. Complete ignore. She is dead to you. Be careful and don't listen her future lies and manipulations. I'm proud of you. I'm not an expert in relationships but I just want to say be brave dude, listen and trust what your heart says. And good luck for future. Oh man. It probably doesn't feel like it right now, but when the dust has settled you'll look back and feel so great about her realizing how badly she shot herself in the foot. Personally I think you've probably been too kind then dealing with her after what happened, and as such she thinks she can manipulate you into giving her another chance. I'd send her a message along the lines of, you need to stop this. You disgust me and the fact you're crawling back after what you did because you see a ring in your future is the cherry on top. Don't contact me, don't get anyone else to contact me, don't come over. Stay away from me, we are done and I don't want anything to do with you ever again. I'm blocking you now. Then hit block, everywhere. Is she that shallow that she would marry someone she doesn't truly love just so she can say she got married and wave her ring around like it's a status symbol? Why else would she be this desperate to get back in your good graces when she was fully intending to ghost you? Your ex is garbage, at least her dad will put her in her place. Did you also tell him about the break and how his daughter dumped you for another guy? The dad is a Chad. Good on him. Dad, 55M, cheated on mum, 54F. Should I tell my mum? First time it happened was a few months ago, around February, where my mum happened to see a text message with the word, "dear," which was swiftly deleted and then denied by my dad. The word, "dear," could mean a lot of things though. Maybe it's just a friendly exchange or something. But the thing that made us all very suspicious was how he deleted and denied it. And then, long story short, they made up. My dad told my mum that he will cut all connections with that lady. Now comes September and it wasn't long until a few days ago that I happened to see my dad texting the same lady again. This time he was more careful, deleting each text after having seen them immediately. I was shocked. Did this mean that it never ended but persisted? But it wasn't until this one time where I had the opportunity to screenshot some of the messages. I told myself not to overguess anything first. But couldn't believe my eyes till my dad told her first that he loved her. That's exactly when I knew it was a two-sided relationship and I was overwhelmed with anger, sadness and confusion. So now, I'm just wondering, how do I tell my mum? Should I even let her know? I feel like I should, and she deserves the right to know since my dad isn't faithful. How will she react? The last time it happened it at least wasn't this serious. My mum was overthinking a lot during that time and had depression and anxiety too. How do I let her know about it? Should I even? If you were in my shoes, what will you do? Any advice given is deeply appreciated. I really do not know what to do. About the lady, I stalked her on Facebook and it says that she is in her late 30s and is divorced and having an 8-year-old. My siblings don't want my mum to know given how she will react to it. But I still feel she should know. Tell her. It'll suck, but it's better for her to know, and worse if she finds out again on her own, and also that you knew and kept it from her. Tell your mom. In fact, don't confront your father. Tell your mother to get a lawyer. Send her the screenshots. And make sure she has all her financials in order. Give your mom support. Collect the evidence and tell your mom. Your dad is potentially exposing her to STDs and likely causing her anxiety by gaslighting her. It's your parents' marriage and their decision to make, but that needs to be an informed decision. Part of the information now is that their children know about this. She may know about the cheating, but thinks of it as a storm she needs to get through. She may be denying the truth so she can hang on to her current life or lifestyle. But she needs to know it's blatant enough that her kids and probably other people know. At age 54, her life is far from over. If she ends up needing a fresh start, the sooner the better. Show your dad the screenshots and tell him if he doesn't tell her you will. He must be waiting for your sister to finish college to pull the trigger. Scout around for lawyers. Check you state laws. Some are eligible for half of the marital property, spousal support, 401k etc. etc. In short, be aware of your mother's rights after divorce just in case your father decides to divorce your mom. Help her secure her future. Be prepared. 100% tell her. You should tell her.